Well, hello there, beautiful, and welcome to Dr. Sarah's Cafe. This is your weekly refill with me, Dr. Sarah. I am not drinking a beverage at this time, but I do have special mugs that I will present to you later in this video. So for now, let's get right into your flavor of the week. Really excited about this one. It is genius. So the flavor of this week is genius. Yes, it is a genius idea, but more specifically, the ingredients of this flavor have to do with two planets. The first planet is Mercury, and the second planet is Uranus. Now, when we think about Mercury and Uranus, it's not just that they have these specific themes, but they are coming together, meeting in the sky this week to form a conjunction. So that means that the themes they both represent are amplifying each other. They are coinciding and synchronizing with each other, right? And so, what are those themes that are coming together to create a special sauce this week? Well, the first theme, we'll start with Mercury, is communication in words, thoughts, our minds, our intellects, our thinking, how we think, learning, news, information, right? So all the details and just wanting to know, that curious mind is very much in the realm of Mercury, okay? And then the planet of Uranus, which is much, much farther away, and so it moves a lot slower, has a lot to do with things like innovation and rebellion, change, electricity, especially electricity in the sky, new tech, new technology, innovative technology, cutting edge technology, eccentricity, being original, being unique. And astrology itself is ruled by the planet of Uranus. Uranus is also a sign that's all about freedom. Freedom and revolutionary vision. Okay. So, based on those two themes for both of these planets, and knowing that those planets are touching each other in the sky, they're going to align at the same point in the sky. You understand why I'm thinking genius, okay? Revolutionary vision combined with intellect and communication and thinking and learning and news, change, electricity, new tech. So this is an opportunity that, regardless of how you feel about your own level of genius or your own capacity to tap into genius energy, that vibe, that flavor is going to be more available to the collective, to all of us, to the globe, to our universe, right? Our solar system. This genius energy is going to be heightened. And you can say it's always available, but with these two planets really coming together and making uh, their own unique flavors blend, then I think we're going to see a lot of interesting ideas, have a lot of interesting conversations at the least. Hopefully this video, this refill will be part of that genius conversation that you have. But we might also just feel inspired. You yourself might be getting like interesting ideas, or you might start to see the world in a new, interesting way. You might start to evolve or develop ideas about your future. Not that everything is going to become a patent that makes you $1 million, or a new invention that becomes the next bread slicer or printing press. But for our personal individual lives, we might have a new way of making our coffee, or discover a new blend of tea that we really like, or make some sort of change in our wardrobe, or get a new tie or a new outfit or a new scarf that's really unique and eccentric and just makes our whole look and appearance and outfit look really, really smart. Okay. And then the tarot card that came out for this week with this theme of Mercury and Uranus was the Ten of Cups. And that was really surprising to me, because Mercury and Uranus don't really give Ten of Cups vibes to me, right? The cups is all about water and heart and emotions. So very different from thoughts and communication and information and ideas and rationality. So in saying this, I think that part of it is balance, is not just being super, super in our minds, not being hyper logical, but remembering to tap into our emotions as well. And our emotions can be a form of intelligence, emotional genius. Emotional intelligence is part of what makes that genius as well. And the 10 of Cups in general represents love and happiness. If you don't know much about tarot, just know the 10 of Cups, if you ever see it in a tarot reading, it means love and happiness, okay? Joy-filled moments, loved ones, being surrounded by loved ones, or engaging in activities, being in spaces where you just feel really, really happy and just full of joy. And not just you, but you get the sense that that's the general vibe of wherever you're at. And sometimes it's just you. Sometimes it's just you and your bird or your cat or your dog. Other times it could be like an actual family reunion or a birthday party or a dinner with friends, right? And I'm also thinking that if the 10 of Cups is coming out in conjunction with this Mercury Uranus conjunction, then that could possibly mean good news, or focusing on not just feeling happy and being happy, but having conversations with people that make us happy, spending time learning things that make us happy, spending time investigating interesting new hobbies, right? We might be receiving good messages from people around us. And I'm even getting the idea of like following those Instagram accounts and those YouTube channels that are all about good news and positive news, right? So this is an opportunity, instead of doing a downward negative spiral of horrible atrocities that are going on in the world, is to remember to look for and to seek out news and information about people recovering from addiction, good news about people overcoming hardship, right? Or, you know, rebuilding their home after a tragedy. There are things that are still worth celebrating. And so it's almost like we might have to force, not force, but like intentionally direct our attention to positive news to balance anything else that might be going on in the world. But also the 10 of Cups, with it being family and happiness and being your tribe. I'm also thinking about the Tracy Chapman song, Talking About a Revolution. Okay. Talking about a revolution, because Uranus, if I go back, also represents freedom, revolutionary vision, and rebellion. Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius, and that is the sign of the people, that is the sign of the public, that is the sign of the masses. And so we could be talking about what's good for the masses with this 10 of Cups energy. We could be having conversations and learning things and discussing and thinking about what is good for all of us, what is good for our human family, what is going to make the most amount of people happy as possible, right? Like, how can we not just hoard our happiness, but share it with as much of the general population, as much of society as we possibly can? Okay, wouldn't that be exciting? All right, going to the divinity message. The divinity message, I pulled two cards. Can't remember if I chose two cards or if two cards fell out. But the first one is the white owl. The white owl. So we know owls tend to represent wisdom, right? I think that's a very common association we have with owls. So this owl says, the wisdom and messages of the divine are within you. So I want to pause here before going to the second card, because Mercury, remember, being communication, information, learning, knowledge, our thoughts. And it's not just rational, like scientific thought. It can be divine thoughts, divine inspiration, messages from your ancestors, messages from the Holy Spirit, from your spirit guide, your higher self, right? And so that is included in that communication, that messaging, that learning. And so understanding that we might have a thought or an inspiration or an idea that could be divinely provided to us. I don't think we talk about that enough, right? We like, oh, I figured out how to do something that I had been struggling with for a while. A lot of times that could be a message or a form of reasoning that was helped or aided through divine means, right? And then the second card is the Heron, which is one of my favorite cards in the deck, because the message of the Heron is let go of convention and follow your own unique path. So going back to that Uranus energy of being eccentric, being original, being unique, right? That's really what this message is about. Let go of convention and follow your own unique path. And so whenever Uranus is activated in the sky, whenever Uranus is activated, we have support. That energy supports us in being our unique authentic, original, eccentric, quirky selves. Okay. Now, I've been talking to you all about the cafe, Dr. Sarah's Cafe. And so I, well, my mugs are over there. I was going to plug my mugs. So what I'll do is I will plug some of the other items that I have. This one I'm really excited to wear. It's one of the t-shirts that I have in the boutique. It is one of the Melanin Queen t-shirts. Yay. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to wear this one. I love the way it fits. It is the boxy women's t-shirt. So, as I mentioned, the cafe, bookstore, and the boutique are open. They have shirts, mugs, bags, tote bags. The bookstore has a small curation of poetry, fiction, nonfiction, tarot cards, and notebooks that I personally like that you can browse and choose from. Or you can simply, if you click the link and you don't want to buy that one, then you can keep shopping for other things to buy, right? Because affiliate links, even if you don't buy that specific item, I can still get a percentage of things that you buy if you follow that link, right? So if you're shopping or browsing the cafe to support me, to support the work of the cafe, even if you don't like what I've specifically listed on the site, you can still go through the site, find something that you're really inspired to have, and then you're still supporting the cafe either way. And then I'm really excited about the cafe piece because you can order actual coffee and tea. There's one brand in particular called Kahawa 1893. They are coming out with a line of coffee pods and stuff this summer. So I want to be in negotiations with them. I want to be in talks with them about making them the official coffee brand of Dr. Sarah's Cafe. But for now, I am just selling their products via affiliate links. But their story, their founder really resonates and aligns with my ethos as a creator, as an advocate. And so I'm just really excited to see what more they come. And as they grow, I hope that I can somehow be a part of that through the cafe. And then, of course, when the brick and mortar cafe opens up, selling their coffee officially through that channel as well. Okay. The poet in residence or the writer in residence, as I mentioned, is Rita Dove. This will be our third poem from our writer in residence, Rita Dove. And we're reading poems from her collection, Grace Notes, here. And so for the theme of this week, I am going to read a poem called Ars Poetica. And Ars Poetica is a poem about the art of poetry, right? So that's what an Ars Poetica is. It's a poem that's about the art of poetry. And before I read the poem, of course, we have to talk about the pastry that I've chosen to go with this poetry. The pastry I chose to go with the poetry, which is, oh, I forgot to change the name when I was making my slides. The red velvet was what I had last week, and so I forgot to change the name to blueberry cheesecake bars. I searched images of pastry bars, cheesecake bars. I wanted to go with lemon bars again this week, but I opted not to. So combining the idea of bars with what I love, cheesecake, I could eat cheesecake all the time. And yeah, so it was kind of cheesy why I decided to go with bars because the name of the poem is Ars Poetica. So I was rhyming and I was like, oh my gosh, you have bars for days. She has bars for days. The poet has bars on bars on bars. Okay. And so, yes, that's my little corny nod or play on words or pun there by getting bars as the pastry to go with Rita Dove's poem, Ars Poetica. I don't know if you heard that thunder, but I'm feeling it today. It's a very stormy, rainy day. All right, Ars Poetica by Rita Dove. 30 miles to the only decent restaurant was nothing, a blink in the long, dull stare of Wyoming. Halfway there, the unknown but terribly important essayist yelled, "Stop! I want to be in this," and walked 15 yards onto the land before sky bore down and he came running, crying, "Jesus, there's nothing out there." I once met an Australian novelist who told me he never learned to cook because it robbed creative energy. What he wanted most was to be mute. He stacked up pages. He entered each day with an axe. What I want is this poem to be small, a ghost town, on the larger map of wills. Then you can pencil me in as a hawk. A traveling X marks the spot. I did get goosebumps reading that last stanza. It's a 3 stanza poem, here, Ars Poetica. I get goosebumps a lot when I read things for the pastry and poetry segment. But man, that last one, I felt it. I felt the chills and the goosebumps and the like the um, shimmer. It's like my body shimmered. What I want is this poem to be small, a ghost town on the larger map of wills. Then you can pencil me in as a hawk. A traveling X marks the spot. And I wanted to choose this piece for this segment this week with the genius energy, because to me, an Ars Poetica is a genius genre of poem. It's a genius kind of poem or style of poetry to reflect on the nature of this art itself and to speak to that and to speak of that through metaphor and analogy. And even in mentioning, the important yet unknown essayist and how so many of the writers we love, we've called them geniuses. We've called so many artists that we love geniuses. And I also like in this poem the reflection of 3 different approaches to that, 3 different versions, 3 different varieties of that genius, which to me feels right, feels very Uranian, feels like Uranus, and saying not only are we talking about genius and genius energy, but recognizing that genius looks different on all of us. Genius looks different and shows up differently in all of us. And I'm feeling called to share now is to not stifle your genius by assuming that it has to come in a particular package or be directed or geared in a certain direction. What is your unique zone of genius? And your takeaway is I am worthy of a wonderful life. This doesn't exactly like directly relate to the flavor of genius energy, but that Uranus piece and that 10 of cups, really like that card coming out for this week. That's what this affirmation, this to go takeaway is all about for me. I am worthy of a wonderful life. We are all worthy of that 10 of cups, love and happiness. Okay. You certainly are, my dear. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that this session helped to refill your spiritual cup. I hope you come back to Dr. Sarah's Café for another weekly refill next week. Take care, my dears. Much love.